Hi guys, hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to day 33 of our daily lessons in Witchcraft. Sorry, I just got to chill. Today we're going to further discuss what we started yesterday about magical aromatherapy, and today we're going to talk about divine fragrances. Since the beginning of humans, we have always used the smell and the scent of plants. Okay, they've been used in religious and magical rituals as well as in the healing arts. And many of the great and advantaged civilizations of the Middle East and the Mediterranean used scent in a lot of their daily living practices. Aroma magic was also used by the Native Americans, as well as the old Hawaiians and many, many, many other civilizations. Start with the Egyptians. Sorry, I'm extremely thirsty today. That's what I hate about drinking juice. It makes you thirsty. Try to set my notes up here in front of me. So with the Egyptians, on the walls of the tombs, the ancient tombs and temples that have been lost in the desert, when they've been recovered, there's one symbol that occurs quite often, and it's a symbol of a half-round handled object with lines representing smoke coming from the top of it. This, we believe, validates the use of incense by the ancient Egyptians. To the Egyptians, perfume and incense was regarded as gold. They were used in medicine, preservation for food, cooking, religion, magic. I mean, they used scents in pretty much everything. A lot of the pharaohs would boast offering huge amounts of aromatic woods and plants to the gods and goddesses, where they would burn thousands of boxes of expensive materials. Ramses III, who was considered to be one of the most lavish of all the pharaohs, once offered 246 measures and 82 bundles of cinnamon on one occasion. One occasion. And then on another occasion, he offered 3,036 logs of cinnamon. And he completely depleted the royal treasury of cinnamon. Hatshepsut, she is considered to be one of the most energetic of all of Egypt's queens, launched an expedition into Punt to seek out myrrh and other spices to honor the deities, and anybody that knew how she was knew she's not going to come back empty-handed, and she didn't. The ancient Egyptians even used fragrance after death. They would embalm the bodies and then anoint them with various scents of various flowers. They would leave jars of perfume that were sealed in the tombs so that those of the dead could use this perfume even in the afterlife. Let's see. Aromatic plant materials were given as a state tribute, and were often donated to specific temples and kept on altars in alabaster or turquoise containers as offerings to the gods and the goddesses. Hang on Just a second, guys. I do apologize. Okay. With the ancient Egyptians, each morning, excuse me, statues of the deities would be anointed with, or by the priests with scented oils. Incense was burned during temple activities, during the crowning of the pharaohs, and during religious rituals. It was also smoldered at funerals to ward off negative spirits and to keep the negative spirits away from the mummified bodies. The Sumerians and the Babylonians, we know that both of these people lived in the Fertile Crescent, and we know that they used incense. The Sumerians used fuming juniper berries to honor the goddess Inanna before the Egyptians ever had organized religion. So we know that was a really, really, really long time ago. Later on, the Babylonians continued that ritual by burning the juniper berries on the altars of Ishtar. For the Sumerians and the Babylonians, it would seem that the juniper berries were the most common. As far as any of the plants were used, they were the most common for incense. However, cedar wood, excuse me, cypress, myrtle, pine, and many others would be fumed and offered to the deities. The Greeks believed that scented plants from the goddess and the gods sorry, okay, so the Greeks believed that scented plants came from the gods and goddesses who were pleased by their fragrances being dedicated to their use. Many of their rituals used aromatic plants that closely resembled those of the Egyptians. They anointed the deceased. They burned incense on the altars of their gods and goddesses. They lavished expensive scents on their bodies for perfumes. They believed that... It's hot. They believed, the Greeks did, that the fresh scent rising from these physical plants actually helped to maintain physical health. Their houses were often constructed in such a way so that one or more rooms would actually open into herbal and flower gardens. And I would think that probably the most well-known use of an odorous plant among the Greeks was when they would crown Olympic victors with heavily scented laurel leaves, which are also bay leaves. The Greeks would burn incense during their funeral rites, and would honor the dead by placing fragrant flowers on their graves and their tombs. Sounds like something we do today, doesn't it? It's not very often that you don't go to... It's not very often that you would go to a cemetery and not see flowers on at least some of the graves. When Greece finally fell to Rome, the Romans learned a lot about perfume from the Greeks. And the Romans carried on this use of perfumes to such an extravagant extent that they even would scent their earthenware by soaking the cups and whatnot before they were used. Now, the American Indians have always lived in harmony with the earth. And they would reverence the earth as the source of all life. And through many centuries of trial and error, they actually achieved an understanding of the uses of many of the wild plants, which ones were good for you, which ones were not good for you, which ones would heal this, which would heal that, and etc. Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. A little on the sleepy side. The Native Americans used plant materials for food, for making cords. Turn my heater back on because, well, now I'm cold again. Ugh. They used it to make brooms. Many domestic tools for clothing, toys, bodily decoration, shelter, ritual purposes, all sorts of things. The ancient Hawaiians used scented plants in their leis. And leis were originally made from shells and feathers. And then later on, the ancient Hawaiians started to use these leis, started to use scented flowers in their leis. And these were used as offerings to the Hawaiian deities. Laka, the goddess of the hula, is actually still given leis. So, that's just a few of the civilizations that have used magical aromatherapy. People all over the world have used the powers of fragrant plants and the oils that you can create with these plants, or their own true natural oils. So, this is not something that's new. It's not a new practice. It's a very ancient practice. And it's something that will continue on, I would imagine, until the end of time. I just don't see something that's so useful not being used anymore. So that's that. In my book, Practical Magic for the Penny Pinching Witch, which I will put a link to below, there is a section on oils and how you can make them, how you can make your own scented oils, and it's not going to cost you a whole lot. So I will put the link to this down below. It's available in paperback and on Kindle. I will also put a link to my Facebook page. If you found me by accident and haven't done so already, please click the subscribe button down below. If you found the video useful, or if you liked it, throw me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, feel free to private message me on YouTube. No nasty comments down below. I will delete them and mark them as spam. Be kind to each other. You never know what battle somebody else is fighting. You don't want to deal with karma. She's not a nice one. And we will see you guys tomorrow when we talk about essential oils. Okay? So until then, hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you later. Bye.